This is the voice of freedom. We are not one voice. We are many. We are your voice. But we can only be effective if you use your voice. Your voice. This is the voice of freedom. We will not hide from the truth. We will ask the hard questions until we are sure we have the truth. Welcome to the voice of freedom, where your voice will never be silenced.
We're live, yeah. Go.
Place Frankston, thank you for coming out tonight. And of course, one from Darren Bergwerf responsible for my place, sitting right beside me there. We've spoken a lot recently about just how amazing I found this significant young man. People, if you are watching this, in any city, any city, you can do this. And this is something am I right, folks? Yeah, well, I demolished the song before us. I'll bring it again. But market on Sunday changed.
Sorry, Carl. Sorry for interrupting, my friend. Okay, great.
Welcome, folks, to my place in Frankston. If you missed out on the first part, no audio, or whatever the problem was, congratulations, we're back. We've got a whole heap of people gathered here tonight. Some news, some call from Frankston, and much further afield. There are a lot of people who travel from further than just Frankston tonight. And that's part of the secret, usually, from my place. I met a lady in the markets on the weekend. We travelled 2.5 hours to come here to make money to buy her veggies and buy her chicken. She came to support the whole marketplace. 2.5 hours. That's a good drive to get everybody's plate. But 2.5 hours to drive, 5 hours, that's something like that. She's not going to get money. It's not a place where it's going to be used. And that's what I'm saying to people the other day. Part of the reason people feel it's so comfortable in here is because we're all on the same page. We're all excited, we're all reading from the same book. Some of us are on different pages. Some of us are starting but when you come to a place like my place, you get on and we have a picture to because even though you might be this beautiful water, you know what this does. That's where you see we all have to that's why it's so the voice of truth is about growing schools. Voice of people. Tonight is like a meeting of Galactic Frankston. We are helping people all over the country, not getting lost all over the world. And what we are doing is what we are doing. We, much like this club, are doing all over the small places. I couldn't afford to do all of them. Darren is good, but he will be making a lot of money out of it.
Sorry, Carl. I'm having a problem with the way I don't know what to do, so. Yeah, what's it? Sorry.
Let me have a look. I believe.
I can tell by the way you look down at me if I'm a displeasing. But baby, you don't stop that quacking, you're gonna scare the ducks out of my pond. It's 2:45, Mr. Walker and me. You're my sunshine woman, please let me be. Whoa, I'm drunk, but I'm happy you're still mad. How come you lost the love, but I had to leave? Even left you my dog, it only reminds you of me. Whoa, I'm drunk, but I'm happy and you're still mad. Well, how come you lost the love, but I had to leave? Yeah, even left you my dog, it only reminds you of me. Whoa, I'm drunk, but I'm happy you're still mad. Oh, I'm lonely, but I'm happy, and you're still mad.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's have a go. Let's see if you can hear us this time.
Take three.
Take three. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to My Place Frankston. Now, you know, when you're doing crowd warm-ups in TV and radio land, you always go for the third take because it's always much better. That's the best cheer we've had all night. So, round of applause to you all. Welcome to My Place Frankston. We're going to introduce the place all over again for the third time. Darren Bergwerf joins me here on my right, and we are very grateful for the hospitality that we've been shown here at My Place. Darren particularly has looked after us amazingly well. Not so much the Galactic Larrikins, but after what they did last night, there's no looking after them at all, I don't think. But we're really pleased and very proud and happy to be able to be associated with My Place. And I think, ladies and gentlemen, I know because you are ostensibly a core group of My Place users, I think we need to put our hands together and give Darren Bergwerf, the Mayor of the People's Council here in Frankston, a round of applause. I don't know that the folks here really understand. I'm sure you do understand, but this is life-changing stuff. It might be life-changing for the folks in Frankston at the moment. I know Darren as Darren just being Darren, but now that he has the People's Council Mayor moniker above his name, he's out on the streets every day talking to people, seeing how he can help. Everybody from... There's a bunch of fellas here tonight who've been sleeping rough down at the boat ramp. We'll have a talk with one of them in the not too distant future. We'll find out just how hard it is trying to live in Victoria at the moment. I think I've said previously, I know I've said privately to you folks, we don't fully appreciate, coming from outside the state, what you have been through. I thought we had an idea on it, and I was only talking to David Graham last night about it, but we don't. Until we actually come down here and meet you and see the trauma that you are still going through. I can still see the effects in your eyes, on your faces. And it's not just the people in this room, it's people everywhere out on the streets. People when you walk in. I walked in today to get some glasses fixed, a new screw in my glasses, and the bloke there wanted to have a talk about all this too because I happen to be wearing a Voice of Freedom t-shirt. Everybody, it's in the top of people's minds now. The media is starting to swing. Those who were persecuting us before are starting to ask questions of us now, if we're still talking to them. And that's the key. We have to keep talking to them, folks. Regardless of what they did, regardless of what they said, regardless of what they may continue to say for the next little while, we need to help them. Whether they want the help, well, we can't force our help on people. But those who are asking questions, we can't say, I told you, because there's no point in doing that. Those people are going to die. Whether they know it or not, we're all going to die, but they're probably going to beat us to it. We need to be aware. We need to have compassion. We need to care for them, show understanding where we can, give education always. And I think together, building communities like we are here at My Place in Frankston and in other places around Victoria and Australia now, and I'll leave it to Darren to tell you just how much this has taken off in the last week since we were chatting in South Morang. You need one of these in your town, folks. If you have a shed, if you have a warehouse space, if you have a place with a bit of land around it where the community can put in a veggie patch or at least start farming, then we want to hear from you. If you're one of us and you have those sorts of facilities, then Darren can tell you how to set that up. And, well, I don't know, how hard is it to set up, Darren?
It's not really hard at all, Carl. And I think last Saturday in the show that we had at South Morang, during the show, we had a guest in the audience who's a member at My Place Frankston, Tina. And I explained at the time that all you really need to do is start a Facebook page to start with, My Place Bendigo, which we're going to have shortly as well. And as soon as you start that page, the amount of coverage, especially since you've given us this platform to spread the message of what we're doing and how special it is down here, and what we've created and the model that we've built, people will join it, because there's people in their homes all around the state and all around the country that don't go out, but they are following you and they are following the freedom movement, and they are aware of what's going on, but they're scared or they don't want to poke their heads up. So very quickly, I think Tina started that at lunchtime on Saturday. After lunch, I joined it while I was on set, and she now has about 180 in 4 days. There's 180 people around Doncaster that have joined her page. And the same with the one in Mildura. I think that's up to about 130 or 140 now as well. And some really critically important people have rang me with farmland and businesses and private investigators and sheriffs. So they're going to get right behind the girls, Kathy and Kylie up in Mildura, and make that really successful. So there is a massive need for it, and people that we don't even know that wouldn't come out of their house that will join My Place Facebook page very quickly. And once you get to 100 or 200 members, you can start having some meetings, and eventually those people will venture out of their house once they see the numbers grow in their own town, and they'll feel confident enough to come along and be part of a meeting and actually integrate with society again. And that's what it's all about.
I met a lady here on Sunday who hadn't been out of her suburb, she said, in over 3 years. And she didn't like going outside. She orders her shopping online so it gets delivered. But she put herself out. She's very anxious, has certain issues in public. She put herself out. She put herself in the car, and she drove over an hour from the north of the city to come down here to meet me and to feel my place. And I've had texts from her since now telling me that she wants to try and set this up in her suburb. Now, she doesn't have any land. It's an amazing thing when you get these sorts of messages, folks. I mean, for a conversation, maybe 15 or 20 minutes out the side on Sunday with her, and she's walked in here. It wasn't the conversation with me that made her go and get motivated to do this. It was the conversation with the people here at the markets. It was the love that was shown and the support that was shown. And as I said to a couple of blokes, and I think I'll probably tell you again, but the online audience missed it the first 2 times. I met a couple of blokes here who couldn't believe the love, the feeling, the friendship, the camaraderie, the first time they'd been here on Sunday, last Sunday. And they said, we don't know why that is. And I said, well, I think it's because we're all reading from the same book. We're all on a different page. We might be on a different chapter, some of us. But the fact of the matter is, it doesn't matter what chapter you are on, whether you're just beginning the journey or you're at what we hope will be the end of it. We all have information to share. And if you're only on the 2nd chapter of the book and you run into me, I'm probably going to wipe out the next 7 chapters for you in 20 minutes. There'll be other people here who can do exactly the same thing. You have these conversations, you learn from each other, and then you take that home and you grow that in your community with your next door neighbour, your back door neighbour. And if they're not talking to you, go to the one beside them, go to the one next door over the road, go to wherever they will listen to you. I'm not saying you need to get up on a box and preach, but don't hide. We are not hiding anymore. We are going to tell people the truth, whether they like it or not. And we don't really care whether they believe it. We know the truth. We are prepared. There is a lot of shit coming. And some of us may not deal with it terribly well at all, but all of us know it's coming. So we are prepared. Try and prepare those people who just think everything's okay and the government's fine. And we're going to elect Dan Andrews again. All right? I mean, seriously, folks, there is one vote in this part of the world, and it should only go to this man, Darren Bergwerf, the independent for Frankston. Just one. And if you live in this area, if you are not walking around putting his how to vote cards in people's letterboxes, what are you thinking? Come here, help. That's what this is about. And I tell you what, if you can get this bloke elected to Victoria, I'll get him elected to the Lodge. Seriously, he has, God almighty, he is a machine. This man, Darren Bergwerf, is a machine, but he's a machine for the people, not for himself. If it was for himself, he'd be renting this out for $7,000 a week. All right? Probably $11,000 a week, sorry. But he's not. He's investing this space in you. What we need to do is invest back into My Place and spread it everywhere. Now, as Darren said, we had some really good reaction on Sunday up at South Morang, or Saturday, whenever it was, Saturday at South Morang. Days are blending together. So there is not just Doncaster that came out of that. There is Mildura, something in Swan Hill or around Swan Hill. Kerrang, one coming. Kerrang. Bendigo have rung up today, want to inquire about it. I know that there are, Geelong, there are people who are inquiring on the Voice of Freedom website how they started in their state, in their part of the town. I know that Singleton has got together. They've got themselves a My Place venue now. That has land attached. The people are very excited about being able to go out and farm their own veggies. So that's all in process of getting in train. It is a movement, folks, and you are at the bedrock of it. So don't just sit there. Push up, push. Let people around you know. Bring them here. Bring a newbie here every time you come. All right? If you can bring one person who's never experienced this before, can you imagine what this place is going to be like in a month? Because Darren won't be able, you'll have to line up for tickets to get in. That's what we want. Because when they have to line up out the front to get tickets to get in, they'll go home and form their own. So they don't have to stand in line to wait to get in. And Darren will be there to help them promote it, and so will I. We will come help every time, if we can. It's not going to be much help if I'm in Darwin and you're having a party tomorrow night. So let's just be serious. But if it's within reason, I will be there to help. We will promote the arse out of this, because this is ground roots development that gets our community together. If we can't have a community together, we only have a community divided. And this is where we wound up 1,000 years ago, divided. Still divided. There are many in our community who won't wake up and refuse to. We just got to shrug our shoulders and move on, accept that. There's no point trying to save anybody from this time unless they are waking up themselves. Don't try. Look after yourself, prepare, be ready, and be ready to support those who aren't, because they will come to your door. And this is another thing where I think My Place really comes to the fore. I've seen you, Darren. I've seen you talking to the guys who are struggling with drug habits out in the street. I've seen you talking to the guys down at the boat ramp who are homeless and living there and have been under threat of being thrown out by the police and having their vehicles towed. Now, it's because of you, and as Mayor of the People's Council, those things have changed, isn't it?
Oh, not just me, but I've certainly been very supportive of Ian and the guys down there since he put a post up on Friday night. But there's been an outpouring of support from the whole community on the Frankston Notice Board on Facebook for these guys, and the same as what we kind of achieved with the rest of the community too. It wasn't just My Place people that got those decisions reversed for crisps and ollies down at the boat ramp to get their permits back to keep trading. So, and that's what we've got to keep getting through to the people, is that you can't just be worried about your issues. Every time there's an issue that someone's being pushed aside or pushed back by the council, we've all got to get behind them. Every cause that pops up, we all need to be out in force and link arms and get behind that movement and get that decision reversed. And that's the power of the people, and that's what we're creating. And it's not just one group; it's multiple groups getting together, and that's what we can do. It's really special, and we've got to spread that message across the country. That when the people get together on every issue, and not just wait till it affects you, but when someone's being affected and it's not right, and you know it's not right, don't just turn a blind eye like we've done for the last 60 years. you need to get behind it and get behind it passionately and say this isn't right and we're not going to accept it as a community. And when you do that, it's amazing what we can achieve. So I think after we have a song shortly, we'll be getting Ian up here, who's come along tonight, Ian Perry, who put that post up on Friday night, that got that outpouring of support. He's going to come up and tell his story shortly. So it is the power of the people, and it's got to be on every single issue that's not right, not just the ones that affect us.
Absolutely. Here. So, folks, just a bit of a hint. I don't know, Rob probably can't reach the Zoom at the moment, but I just want to show the folks at home, this is a bit of a quality of the produce that you will find at the market. Get a load of the size of that lemon. I mean, my God, that is just a magnificent lemon, and there is about 100 of them out the back out there. So I dare say if you're looking for something nice on your, well, I'd have lemon on pancakes. So magnificent. Just an idea. Anything that you can grow can be sold at a My Place market. Oh, well, I suppose except the...
Yeah, can't be sold here,
No.
but...
In Canberra.
That looks like it'd fit nicely into a bit of 90mm stormwater pipe.
I was thinking it'd probably go into one of those super dragger exhausts the P-platers like to put on their little umchiff cars, you know? See how well it goes after 2 or 3 of those shoved down the hole. Yeah, not terribly flash. Look, folks, we've been talking about My Place, and we've been talking about My Place at Your Place, which is, if you like, the Voice of Freedom effort that we will put in to try and support Darren and My Place. And that would be that we would like to take My Place to your place. And that means if you're at home and you're thinking, oh, yeah, I've got a shed out the back with nothing in it, and I've got a whole heap of land they could dig up and plant some carrots in, we want to hear about you. And we will bring My Place to your place. Now, as part of doing that, my sort of theory about what we're going to do is not make it a talk fest kind of night for those sorts of shows, because this is a community thing. We're getting together, we're having a chat, we're having a bit of fun. There's a few beers to be had if you've got a licensed venue or an BYO thing. So I figure you've got to have a bit of music. Now, the problem that we run into with music in the land of streaming is that nobody owns any of the good songs that they want to play. They've all been written by somebody else. Thankfully, we are in the heart of the most creative musicians, I believe, in Australia, if not certain parts of the world. Melbourne is a hub of the best musicians in this country. And tonight, we're going to get them to play some of the music that they've written for us. Okay? Now, it's all about original music, because we can stream original music. You boys are not going to play anything you didn't write, are you? I know, very good. So, okay, going to break into Sweet Child of Mine or something, that'll be great. But that's what this will be about. If you are a talent, if you have any talent, doesn't matter if you play music, doesn't matter if you tell jokes, doesn't matter if you can juggle, we want to know about you. Because when My Place comes to your place, we're going to create a national talent show of original artists, of original music. And we will promote the arse out of you. You don't need to have a record company if the people like your music. All you need to do is have an account where they can buy it. And that's where the artist will make their money, rather than sharing it with a record company. I can tell you a story about a certain band that came from a few hundred kilometres north of here a few years ago. They were just burgeoning on being very, very successful. They'd had one privately produced song that really did scoot up the charts, and then the record companies came a-calling. And what they did is they said, oh, look, that's a great song, but you need a really good clip. You've got to have a film clip to sell a song these days. Here is the first part of the debt trap if you're a band. We will give you $75,000 to go and get a clip made. In fact, no, we'll pay $100,000, but we'll make the clip. You'll owe us for making the clip. So the first $100,000 worth of sales of your song goes to them. You might get a very little percentage out of it being the writer, if you like, or the publisher. The publishing rights are where it's at, folks. And unfortunately, our musicians have been forced into handing over their rights, just as we all have. But in the music industry particularly, our musicians are essentially forced to hand over the publishing rights of their hits so that the record companies can make the money and the artist can make a little bit through something called APRA, which we'll explain again on another boring night. But if we can do this with the Voice of Freedom, and if you people like the songs that you hear, and the guys have got a website you can go and download it from, then please go and do it. Because this is how we support our artists. These are how we're going to have the songs. You might remember, I'm probably going back a few years, but history has always been told by song. Always. Our artists, our musicians are the ones who track our history. Support these people. And that's what My Place at Your Place is all about. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, you've already heard at least a portion of one song from them. This time, we're aiming to give you the whole shaboo. And because I've talked for a long time, we'll let them play 2 songs. Andy Phillips and Diddy Rays, they're the guys who are sitting there at the guitars. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. This is Little Feat.
Tell that you've been lonely by the way you look at me. I see longing in your body, like the way you touch your knee. Take my hand, I'll show you. Together we'll be free. No, baby, now move your little feet. Come on now, pretty baby. Come on now, please, baby, come on now. Move your little feet. I drink sugar with my coffee, honey with my tea. When I go out dancing, babe, I want you to be with me. I go, we got problems, don't get better with me, oh no, baby, now. Move your little feet. Come on now, pretty babe. Come on now, please, baby, come on now. Move your little feet. Come on now, pretty baby. Come on now, please, baby. Come on now. Move your little feet.
Yeah. Love it. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll stand up because I'm not going very far. So the boys have got a couple of songs prepared for us, and I'll just let you know again. Sorry about that feedback. I'm going to remember to run in front of the PA. Andrew Phillips, Diddy Rays. Look for him online. Have you got a website anywhere, guys?
You can get us on Facebook. You can follow us around.
There you
I've
go.
dropped an EP last week, which you can find on all the streaming services, called Skin for Sale, with my good friend Lady Fox. You can come to our EP opening on Halloween if you'd like to.
Well, that sounds a
And
bit
there'll be a
sweet.
link on My Place Frankston after tonight too.
Oh, great.
And if you'll let us, we'll cut the song out and post it on the Voice of Freedom as well, if you're happy.
Sure thing.
Excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Andy Phillips and Diddy Rays. This is Police State, just for Victoria.
So, you know, everybody has a protest song over the last couple of years, I suppose. Somewhere along all of the parades and all of the protests and everything that was happening and all the coming together, I wrote this fun little song, which started off as just a bit of fun, but I had the opportunity to play this in a live stream to Canada, thanks to Black Sheep Truth Media, and I got to perform this song in front of thousands and thousands of Canadians, so it's fitting to bring it to you guys today. It's called Police State Blues. Whoa, I'm in a police state, baby. Oh, but you can't lock me down. I'm in a police state, baby. Oh, but you can't lock me down. I got that blues all around me. Oh, I'm too free to be found. You know the state of Victoria, they like to stay out late. They gamble and shoot up in galleries and lie with the head of state. Whoa, Jenny, police state, baby. Little girl, you can't lock me down. I got that blues all around me. Oh, I'm too free to be found. You feeling free, Andy? Yeah, oh, when I wake up in the morning, oh, mama, I don't give a fuck about the law. When I wake up in the morning, oh, baby, I don't give a fuck about the law. I know my heart's gonna guide me. Sweet baby in my hands, I got love for all. Sing it with me now. Yeah, I'm in a police state, baby. Oh, but you can't lock me down. I'm in a police state, baby. Mama, you can't lock me down. I got that blues
sweet little darling, don't you know? Yeah, I'm too free to be found.
Don't know if you figured it out yet, folks. I like blues. I like blues a lot. Guys, thank you so much. Put your hands together again for Andy Phillips and Diddy Ray's, folks. Absolutely stunning. I'm almost at a point where I'd turn the microphone off and we'll just jam out for the rest of the night, folks. What do you reckon? There's a beer in the back. Oh, no, there's not. Oh, there might be. Darren's here. It's in his car. All right. We'll get to some more music shortly. We've got a number of acts tonight, Darren. Thank you very much for helping arrange that. And the girls out the back have been sorting everything out. I forgot to mention, folks, how was your pork roll? Coming in the door? Did you get your roll? Did you get something to eat?
Not yet.
Not yet? Hasn't happened yet? Wow. I hope they didn't put that off for me because somebody came out and offered me a pork roll. I said, I can't eat before the show because I'm just going to burp over everybody. So I hope they didn't put that off for that.
They'd probably be having them now if we hadn't had free takes.
Oh, okay. Well, blame the Galactic Larrikins. You know I do. So anyway, they're doing a great job, and it was probably my fault, that sound thing. So anyway, here it is. All right, let's get back into a serious part of the night. So, Darren, you alluded before. Can you just explain to us what's happening down at the boat ramps here, or one boat ramp in particular here at Frankston?
Oh, I can give you a brief outline, but I'd like Ian Perry to get up here shortly and explain exactly what's been going on. He has the full story. But as you're all aware, there was a post put up last Friday night by Ian on the Frankston notice board, and I come across it after I left here at whatever time that was, and kind of reached out, and as did hundreds of people and messages of support. I called in to see the guys on Saturday to have a chat to them and tell them, look, we're supporting you 100% as the My Place community, and the Frankston People's Council are behind you, and we will support you and we'll push back and make sure that you aren't removed from here, because they were threatened with getting their vehicles towed. And I've met them one other time since then. They're all good, and like they said, they're all brilliant people. They're just like you and I, down on their luck, in a bad situation in their lives at the moment, living rough in their cars. So, what's going on with this microphone?
It's got the crackles.
Yeah, it's got the crackles. I want to. I was living on the streets for 9 months when I was 16. I was kicked out of home, and I know what it's like to be sleeping out on netball courts and tennis club rooms and that kind of stuff. So. I've been a big advocate for the homeless around Frankston since I started running for the Dunkley electorate, and this hasn't changed. And I think it's something I'm passionate about in this area. It's a massive problem, not just here, but all around the state, where people are getting moved on. They're in tents on Crown land. They're well within their rights to be sleeping wherever they can find a spot to sleep. And for the authorities to be coming in and be heavy-handed and doing what they're doing is just another reason why community need to stand up and push back and help these people that are down on their luck. So, but I'll let Ian come up here and explain the situation fully. Thanks, Ian.
Thanks, Ian. Round of applause for Ian, ladies and gentlemen. Ian, thanks for coming tonight. Thanks for bringing Kiara. For those folks who haven't seen it, that's the little King Charles Cavalier that's down the front. And thank you for coming along with her as well. You have to bring that microphone a bit closer to you, mate. Otherwise, we're never going to hear you. So tell us your story. How is it that you wind up on a boat ramp in Frankston?
It's a lot of family history that's gone on, but I won't go into all the details. And I was commuting from Milton down to Noble Park for work.
Yep.
Get out of my car, drive 12 hours in a glass truck all down the Mornington Peninsula and then back home. I was leaving at 3 a.m., getting home at about 9 p.m.
Wow.
And I did that for 18 months, and my family did the dirty on me. And car packed in, and a few other things happened. And next thing you know, I went to work, and I said, if I had a gun, I would have shot my father after what he'd done, tried sexually assaulting me. And I was asked to leave my mother's, and I did. I wound up back down here without a job. lost a $70,000 income.
Mm.
And now I find myself down at Oliver's Hill in the boat ramp.
Yeah.
With 4 or 5 other blokes. And it's got to the point now that civil compliance come down last Tuesday. You got 7 days to leave. I said, we'll see about that.
Mm.
So I got in touch with Claire at Bolton Clark and had a letter drafted up, and I got the other guys to sign it with their phone numbers. We then worked out what we're going to do. I've delivered it to the council. I had words with the council. I said to the lady, you can read it. This has got to go to the mayor. She's reading it, rolled her eyes around in her head. And I said, don't roll your eyes around. And the young bloke behind her had a smirk. I said, you can wipe that off your face.
Mm.
And the last thing I said to him was, we don't appreciate civil compliance coming down and threatening us to drag our cars out and have them impounded. Our houses, our homes are our houses, or our homes are our cars, sorry.
Yeah.
And I've got in touch with quite a few people, Current Affair. They phoned me back. They said, because of the floods, we can't really do it, but we'd love to take it on board. So I told the council that. I said, I'm going to the media. And then Darren come down, he'd seen my post because I was reaching out for help.
Sure.
And it got to the point where I put the post on, and within 24 hours, I received 1,130 people responding.
Wow.
People, businesses offering food. That's not what we want.
No.
What we want down there is an open line of communication with the local council to give us help to get where we want to go.
Yeah.
Right? There's a couple of guys that are happy to stay in the car. I'm not one of them.
Yep.
I've always had a decent place. I've always provided for myself. One of the comments was, get off the dole, you bum.
Yeah, right.
And I answered to the bloke, I said, I only hope you're never in the position I've been in.
Yeah.
And I don't wish it on anyone. Anyway, they're coming down every day, sharing coffees with us. We're making coffee. It's not easy sleeping in a car.
No.
Not with the weather we've had lately.
No.
I've got a dual battery system in my car. I cook in the car, in the boot. So I'm standing out in the rain with ovens going on that. Wet weather puts the flames out.
Yep.
There's been nights I've gone without food, but I feed my dog. She's number one.
She's a beautiful little dog too.
I love it a bit.
Yeah.
I've had help with vet bills because she's not well. I'm also going to court with a corrections order, which I think is heavy-handed, and I've got a lawyer sorting that out.
Good.
There's all sorts of things going on.
So what did it mean for you when Darren turned up out of the blue in his fluoro shirt and said, "G'day, I'm the mayor of the People's Council"?
I actually said to him, "What do you mean, Mayor of People's Council?" He said, "I go in to fight for people that are in your situation." And I've spoken to him a few times. He asked me if I'd come down. And I said, "Yeah, no worries."
Yeah.
The other guys are not keen. I said, "Well, I'll be your advocate. This has got to be brought out in the open to the government and the community and the services to get people help." Because my job.
Does she want to come up here?
She can come up.
Come on, darling.
Come on.
We'll put her up. We'll make her a TV star. Eh? I know. Look at now. That's either Neo or Bronson. One of the two. Bronson. Yeah, right. So this is Kiara, folks. Hello, beautiful.
Uh-oh. What have I done? Oh,
How are you?
better. She's just a lovely dog. And it's pretty hard to sleep in a car with a dog when you roll your seat back and next thing you know, the dog's sitting on top of you.
Well, you know, they go for the warmest place, which is generally where you're exhaling.
Yeah, you don't get much sleep. But yeah.
So
we've been basically cooking out of the cars, and the council come down and threatened us this. I said, "Don't make threats to me," because I said, "I'll stand up to them." And I said, and I said to the council, "If you want to fight, you pick the wrong bloke, because I'll take it as high as I can." And Darren stepped in and he said, well, he come down and spoke to me. He said, "I need you."
Yeah.
And I said, "You've got me.
Great.
You want me to fight for you? I'll fight for you."
Great.
But the only thing, as I've said to people, we're not after food. We're not after blankets and stuff like that. We are after people that are going to stand up and support us. Yeah. We don't want conflict. We just want communication. So the council come down, sit with us, talk about the issues and how we can solve the issues.
Yeah.
I'm not going in for me. There's thousands out there that are in
Well, I was
there.
going to say, being part of that community where you're pulled up in car parks every night, and I guess a few of you blokes, unless you've just whatever settled on the Frankston boat ramp is the best place in town, but there are thousands of people hanging around other boat ramps around Melbourne and other places.
Exactly right. And the reason for that is rents are way over the top.
Yeah.
You just cannot afford. If you're on a single person earning a wage, they've got to make it a reasonable amount in rent.
Yeah.
These landlords keep pushing up the rent, up the rent, up
Are
the
you
rent.
finding what's happened in Queensland, and we've experienced this, my daughter and I, that if you are renting a place, you are given an opportunity to stay about 2 months into your 6-month lease. You'll get a new lease that says, oh, we're going to put your rent up $230 a week. You can sign it now, or you can tell us that you don't want to take that increase of $230 a week, in which case we're going to advertise the place for $270 a week more. And you'll be out on whatever date your leases happen. Have you guys had that happen down here? That's the sort of increases we've seen in Queensland. So, you know, places that are absolute shitholes are $500 a week.
The other problem is, before all this happened, I was looking for a rental place in Cranbourne. You'd rock up and there'd be 70 people for a 2-bedroom unit.
Yep, we found the same thing. In fact, those 70 people had 4 children each, and they were all looking at a 2-bedroom apartment. Oh, it sounds stupid and funny, but it's not. It's dead serious. It happened to us in Maroochydore. 70 people with I don't know how many children turned up to look at a 2-bedroom unit in Maroochydore, which we couldn't have afforded anyway, so we just drove past. But,
I just said to the people, as soon as I had my dog in the car, I said, we got no hope.
Yeah.
No hope in hell. Because people were bargaining. Oh, it's advertised at $350. Oh, we'll give you $370. We'll give you $390.
Yep.
And I said, I can't go that high.
Yep.
You've still got to pay your gas, your water, electricity,
Yep.
run a car and feed animals. You got vet bills, all that sort of stuff.
Yep.
I mean, they're only trivial things, but a vet bill, I've had one this week for over $1,000. It's paid for by Pets for the Homeless.
Wow.
And she's still got another 3 appointments to go to.
Beautiful.
But, you know, as I said to the guys, I'm going in there to bat for you.
Yep.
And I would like my voice heard.
Yep. Well, mate,
I've even
all these folks here have seen it, and if you look up into that camera at the back there, you can tell everybody else that's watching what you want them to hear. How do they help? How do they make sure this doesn't happen in their community? What if they're living in a community and there are people like you at it? What can we do?
just basically give us this verbal support. You know, if they come down and kick us out, we need you guys to stand up and be counted. You know?
Are you prepared for that, folks? I mean, I was down there having chips yesterday, fish and chips yesterday.
Should have come and said hello.
Well, if I'd have known that, I'd have been down there sharing your fish and chips.
Well, that was the other thing I put in the letter. I said, Chris, fish and chips beat you. Ollie's beat you.
Yep.
And now I said, you're coming after the little guys because you know we don't have the funds to fight back.
Yep.
Well, they're in for a rude shock. This
My
little
word,
guy here is going to stand up and fight them.
Jesus.
I mean, I got people in the street pointing at me.
That's great, mate.
Saying, that's him.
Yep.
They're coming down to my Commodore down there. It's a gold colour Commodore. It's got like a little toadstool on the roof, which is an antenna
Yeah,
for my TV.
Great.
And they walk up and said, you be Ian. I said, correct.
Great.
I said, what can we do for you? I said, just moral support's what we need. All we want is somewhere that we can stay and transitionalise to get into a place. Now,
Yep.
I'm under Bolton Clark and Mentors and the cat team at the hospital.
Yep.
And I've got all their support. They've been watching what's going on and reading the comments. I've been in tears reading some of these comments.
Yeah.
Enough's enough. You know?
Yeah.
What can we do? I had a lady today. She come in. If you guys need a shower, ring me. Here's my number.
Wonderful.
They're opening their houses up to let strangers in.
Yeah. Well, I think Darren did that for my place here for you, didn't he?
He did.
Because there's showers and toilets and all that sort of stuff out the back here. You can have a cup of coffee. You can get out of the weather.
And another lady said, she come down. She says, I don't have much, but come up to my place when it's wet. Get out of the car and come up. Bring your dogs. They're welcome.
Wonderful.
This is what I'm getting down there.
Yep.
Yeah. I went to my storage unit the other morning and I was having a conversation with, I had me call my dog and they said, oh, we just read about you on Facebook. Is that you? I said, it is. And then the phone rang, and it was the current Georgina from a current affair.
Right.
So I've got her on board.
Great.
And I said to the council, you want to fight, you pick the wrong bloke.
Yeah.
My father's been in councils before, and he's got things done. So now it's my turn to have a go.
Excellent, Ian.
And I'm with everyone here.
That's excellent.
So,
Give him a round of applause, folks. So, Ian, I just want to let you know, if there is anything that we can do for you, when I say we, I mean the Voice of Freedom, because it isn't just me. We are a community. You've seen some of it here, but a lot more of it's behind that camera back there. And we're here. We will help. You just tell us what you need and tell Darren. Darren will tell us. We'll help wherever we can.
I tried to put in that message on Facebook. I made it short, but straight to the point, so people understand what we're going through. There's a lot more I can put on that, but people only read so much and then they'll start turning. As I said, we don't want conflict. We want an open communication with the council.
Yep. Do you mind travelling? Do you mind moving around?
I prefer to stay where I am because I've got agencies working for me.
So I can't convince you to take on one of the Galactic Larrikin's jobs. They're not doing very well. You can come on the road with us.
I might take you up on that offer.
Mate, we are happy. In fact, I can tell you, folks, when we get properly on the road, at the moment I have about 30 people who are going to get their motorhomes and caravans and come with us. It's going to be a community that turns up in your town, I tell you. All like-minded people, all people who want to make change, all people who want to do well in the communities that we travel to. We want to educate. We want to make you aware of the dangers. There are many. I don't want to talk about pedophilia tonight, but one of those people, a couple of those people who might come on this run will be people who will educate you deeply about the horrors of pedophilia and where it's happening and whom.
It's no fun.
Not the kind of thing we can put on here, but when we're on the road, it will be a show that you'll go home talking about. And only half of it will ever make it through that camera. The rest of it will stay in here with us so you can spread that word.
It's actually quite funny because we had a bloke that's involved with the Coast Guard come down. He was, and he sent us a text or a message the other night. Maybe I should invite you, Mark and Shane out in my boat, and we'll throw Shane over the side to catch the crows. But he's come down twice now, 3 times, and there's another guy that come down. He brought dog food down. I burst into tears. I said, mate, I'm not here to take your money or take your food.
Yep.
But you don't want to be rude and knock it back, because we got that much food. We don't know what I'm sleeping in the back seat of my car. It's piling up with food. And I'm thinking, what am I going to do?
But you're not going to go hungry, are you,
no,
sweetheart?
No, she's well fed, as you can see.
No, she looks all right from here too. A bit of a workout to keep picking her up, I'd imagine. Ian, thank you very much for coming and telling us your story tonight. It's a very important story, and it's a story that, while this is yours, it is a very similar story for thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people all over this country. And we have to do something about it, folks, because the government isn't. The government are engineering this shit.
The government is sticking their hand, their heads in the sand.
Oh,
I don't want to know.
Yeah. Well, all those empty shops you see in your streets, they don't want them filled up.
No.
They want people on their bones of their ass. They want people to start thinking about moving out, going to a smart city. Won't that be great for everybody?
No, they want us there as robots to do what they say.
Yep.
And I'm determined I'm going to stand up to them.
Good man.
Yep.
That's what we're all doing. We all have to stand up. I mean, push back in our own way. Nobody says you've got to go to jail for this, right? But you can make a point without putting yourself behind bars.
Correct.
And we have to do it every day.
I've done that with the message I put on there because it's just blowing me away, the response. Mark down at the boat ramp, he's in a 4-wheel drive, but just down from me, it's not working. He says, I thought you'd only get 5 replies. We got 1,130 and it's still going up.
Yep. Well, trust me, by the time you get back there, it's probably going to be twice that. What's the Facebook page?
It's just on the Frankston
Frankston Notice Board on Facebook. Frankston Notice Board on Facebook. Notice Board on Facebook.
Yep.
There you go, folks. Go on.
It's also on the Frankston Mornington one as well, I believe.
Beautiful. Well, the offer's there. Anything you need, get a hold of Darren, get a hold of me. We'll we'll do whatever we can to make that happen for you. And
I know-
hopefully,
I know there's one guy, he's worried about his car not running. I said, Darren spoke to him about it the other day.
Darren's got 50 bloody cars. 49 of them aren't running out the side here.
But just with Darren coming down there and speaking the other day, it sort of brightened our lives. People coming down, talking, having a coffee. We're making coffee. That's not a problem. We've got that much gas going, butane cookers going down there. We boil a kettle, we'll make 10 cups or 20 cups of coffee. Just come past, have a chat, introduce yourself, and we can tell you our stories.
Yeah.
And that's all we're asking for, just to have a voice to be heard. They wouldn't do it, so I said, I'm doing this. Darren's the one that got me to do it.
Brilliant. Thanks, Ian. Appreciate it, mate. So there you go, folks. You have an opportunity to help. Now, it may not be helping Ian, it might not be helping Frankston, it might be in your area. And the best way to do it is, if you don't already have a movement, get on there tonight, start a My Place in Your Town Facebook page, and then get a hold of Darren, and we'll see where we go from there.
And we've just had a generous offer for a Mamrita from the Nature Cafe, Ian, that's just out the back in Thompson Street here next to the Bendigo Bank, to come in and grab a breakfast tomorrow morning for free. Thanks, Amrita.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. So, I don't know, we've got another band or another act lined up, or is anybody out there? Yeah, you get yourselves organised. We'll fill. How does that work? So, we've had a couple of very interesting people come up and have a bit of a chat with us today, Darren. And one of those things that we are going to talk about afterwards is this very interesting publication. Now, this was picked up in a news agency in Pakenham. Yeah. Have a look in your news agency, see if this is there. It's called Uncensored. It's, essentially printed in New Zealand, but does contain a lot of interesting news. How many people here are on Telegram, follow Telegram? Welcome to Telegram in a book. Okay, so if you don't know what Telegram is at home, go start looking for this, because you will find everything you need to know in this magazine. Now, I haven't read it cover to cover because it's somebody else's and only turned up an hour ago, but I can't vouch for the stories inside it at the moment, but I have scanned it, and I've got to say, I'm very impressed with the stories that they are telling. It's a subscription model. You can find the subscription on the inside of the cover. We'll give it a bit later on.
And if you've got some spare funds, I'd suggest that you buy 30 or 40 copies of it and go to all your local doctor surgeries and remove all the magazines that have been there for 6 years and leave that one on the desk there.
Now that's an idea. Absolutely amazing. Let me just see. Is Johnny over there? Yes, no? Coming? Still going? All right, no worries. Johnny's coming up soon. So, My Place Frankston, how do people get a hold of you, Darren, if they want to start a My Place somewhere outside of Frankston? And any state in Australia, folks, any state.
Any state. Okay, so we have a website, which is www.myplacefrankston.com. That's it, no.au. I don't even know my own website. So if you get on that website, there's plenty of contact details on there. We're setting up a blueprint of how we've started and developed My Place in Frankston and where it's going. We've got a plan way bigger than this, and we're building the arc at the moment for those people that Carl was talking about before that aren't aware of what's coming and what potentially is in their system. And when the hammer drops, these people are going to be shell-shocked that aren't awake at the moment, and they're going to need support, like he said. And we've built that platform, and we've built a community here that are ready and waiting for those people to come, and it's not far away. So it's really important that, you can get on there. My details will be there. I'll talk to anyone. I spend all day on the phone, whether it's about the People's Councils or My Place or the People's Trust, or people ring up about the Shrine as well on the 11th that we're trying to get 1 million people to the Shrine of Remembrance on the 11th of the 11th. That's another project we're working on. So my details, I'm always available. I hand out my phone number pretty readily to anybody. It's my personal one, and I'm on it all day. So you can ring me direct. and 0403. No, I'm only joking. I'm not giving out my number.
Man.
I'm not giving out my number on air for the whole country because I know I'll get a heap of prank calls. But there are people that you can get in contact with on the website or the Facebook page that will pass on your details and your story, and I'll get in contact with you.
Absolutely. All right, ladies and gentlemen, because it is, well, not a Friday free for all. It's sort of like a Wednesday muck around. But we are doing a My Place from Your Place sort of test ride. So that means, as I said earlier, there's going to be a little bit of music. And if Johnny's ready, yes, no? Nearly, yes, no?
How are we doing, folks?
We have a man. Thank you very much. We've got Darren over there to look after the microphone for the internet. Put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, for Johnny Moscow. This is Boyo.
Thank you. Hey, I haven't heard you yet. You might want to save in the place. So during lockdown, when none of us could do anything, and couldn't even play out the front of our houses, but we did. So I wrote a couple of songs during that time, and what impressed me the most was the musical community, and mostly the females in the musical community, because all the guys were just like killing themselves and just being a bunch of drama queens. It's the truth. But the girls were just like right there, rock solid, having fun all the time, you know? Especially people like Mish Cat and like Sarah Gardner, Sarah Bradshaw, Maria Casa. All these girls that I knew that I played with for years, they were really inspiring, you know? So I wrote a song for them. Yeah. Wait, what happened to my guitar? There you go. Something about this place, because Andy Phillips's guitar did the same thing. Just think about something else for a second.
So, ladies and gentlemen, just so you know, this song is called D-Tune.
It's called Rock and Roll Soldier, if you don't mind. She's a rock and roll soldier. She's got a rock and roll soul. No matter what they tell her, she knows what she knows. She's a rock and roll soldier. She's got a rock and roll soul. Don't let anybody tell her what it's gonna be. She's a rock and roll soldier. She's got a rock and roll soul. She's a rock and roll soldier. She's got a rock and roll soul. 'Cause everybody dies. Not everybody lives. Don't know why. You only get what you give. And I'm a rock and roll soldier. I've got a rock and roll soul. No matter what they take it, I know what I do. Looks like I'm gonna take the high road. I'm gonna take the lonely road. It's the only way I know. Only the way that leads back home. You know what I mean? And all the things I've seen, and all the I forgot the words to my own song. Can I get a drink of water, please? Cause I'm a rock and roll soldier. I got a rock and roll soul. No matter what they tell you, they only know what they know. And that ain't rock and roll. No, that ain't rock and roll. No matter what they tell you, they only know what they know. You gotta follow your own dreams. You gotta follow your own heart. You gotta follow your own. It's not as tough as it all might seem. Cause nobody's gonna be there when you need it. Or care when you need it. Doesn't really matter to me. We're all rock and roll soldiers. Got a rock and roll soul. No matter what they tell you, they know what they know. And that ain't rock and roll. That ain't rock and roll. I hate the way this guitar sounds, I'm sorry to say.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's Johnny Moscow. Or Johnny Moscow Boyd, maybe. Yeah.
Okay, so my name's Johnny Boyd, but whenever I Facebooked anybody I went to school with, they didn't know who I was, so I had to put my nickname in. Moscow. I got that in grade 2, Mono Primary.
Cheers, mate. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Round of applause for Johnny, folks. So, obviously, what we're trying to do with our musicians here, folks, is give them a bit of a look at the rest of the country, or the country a bit of a look at them. So, if they've got the opportunity to sell a song, then they should sell it themselves, not be getting, the record company dregs of what's left after the record company have eaten it all through. So remember that if you are an original artist and you want to come on the show, just get in touch with us at vofhq.com. And when we come to your town, we're going to do just this for you, because we're going to bring my place to your place. That's what this is all about. We'll get another song from Johnny, ladies and gentlemen. Put your hands together. Let's see if we've fixed the guitar.
Okay. Take a message to the people, sing it out real loud, so they understand what we're all about. We're gonna save this place, all of us go home. Can't hesitate, you know it might be gone. So I say to you, what are you fighting for? We all are brothers, not you want for war. And if we burn the trees, we find the air we breathe, or we pollute the seas. I'll be a mouse to feed, dying of disease, cause there will never be. It's in the air we breathe, it's in the dying seas, but there will never be more than the world we need. And if you wait too long, then it might be gone. There will never be more than the world we need. This is a message. This is a message. For some dumb reason, my mouth keeps whistling. I don't know why. How you going, Darren? All right. How about a bit of a hand clap, like get involved, yeah? I'll tell you when. 1, 2. Come on now. Sometimes when we fight like it, just tear each other down. And you say you're giving up. Don't come around. And the more I chase it, the more she runs in. She said I'm crazy. I know she's the only one. Must pay for love. And my heart you won. My peace, I'm bound. How can I let go? Tell me, how can I let go? Oh, you're doing so well. Come on, keep it up. How can I let go? Baby, I'm a slave in love. You know I am. I'm just a slave to love. Oh, thanks for the hand claps. You can stop now.
Ladies and gentlemen, Johnny Boyd.
Thank you, people.
Also known as Moscow. So thanks, Johnny. Great. Excellent. Thanks, mate. And we'll get another act on before we're done, before the end of tonight too. So, folks, just want to get to a point, probably a serious point in the evening, if I've got to be honest. Dan Bloody Andrews. Oh. So, the trauma that you folks have suffered at the hands of this bastard and his government is just unimaginable to anybody who hasn't lived through it until you come down here, meet, and hear the stories from you folks. I keep hearing that he's going to get re-elected. Now, with blokes like Darren running, and there'll be other independents, there'll be other, I suppose, other parties running. We don't talk about parties too much because in the constitutional system, they are actually illegal. Whether you believe it or not, the truth of the matter is, and the parties know it, they are illegal. Independence is the way you should be voting, whether it's this bloke or somebody else. An independent voice is your voice, all right? But make sure you elect the bloke who's going to speak for you. And Darren Bergwerf is the kind of bloke I'd love to see in a parliament because nobody's going to shout him down. Nobody's going to bribe him. And nobody's going to tell him his politics don't work. So we need blokes like Darren all over Victoria to be standing up and for folks to vote for in the coming election. Now, fingers crossed things are going to happen that maybe you won't have to vote on the 26th. Maybe you will have to. And those further things that might happen could indicate that there's going to be some other intervention in the coming months. Because if they're going to plan on stealing this vote from you, it's being watched everywhere. So if they're stupid enough to think that they can steal this vote using Dominion voting machines and associated other things, they have another thing coming. There are people, not just in Australia, but outside Australia, watching this election, if it materialises. It might hang in the balance on a few other things that are happening in the world at the moment, but we'll wait and see. So, Darren, what would you be encouraging people who are thinking about running or thinking about standing up, even as a mayor in a people's councils type state? What should people be thinking? Oh, it's not really me. It's not something for me.
I certainly think they should be standing up to form their own councils under our constitution, a constitutional council by the people, for the people. That would be my number one thing to do. We know the system is rigged. It's unlawful. It's corrupt. And while I am running, and I've said it so many times, it's only for one specific reason. It's not to get into to Spring Street. Well, I would love to get in there and have a maiden speech and the joint upside down.
Hang on, let me swap microphones. Oh, that went well. It's your hand, you know. You touch something, it just dies. Hang on, might have to put up the other microphone. Bradford? No, microphone. No, there you go.
So yeah, it would definitely be an interesting time for me to get in there, and I'd tell you what, I'd peel the paint off the walls if I did get to go in there and have a maiden speech. But it's certainly not why I'm running in this election. It's purely a platform to get to the people and use that platform to wake people up and get content out there and expose the people that are in and the system for what it is, and that's all I'm using the platform for. Anyone that thinks that they can get in there and make a difference is kidding themselves. They've got no idea of history, because for 50 years, ever since Don Chip tried to keep the bastards honest, and Pauline Hanson and various other ones have got in there and tried to change it from the inside, it's not going to happen. So the quicker that everyone gets on the same page and understands that the system is broke, it's not there, you're not going to fix it from the inside, and we all walk away en masse, the system will collapse. And the problem is we've still got people thinking that they can fix it from the inside, and it ain't going to happen. So the People's Council and setting up societies and parallel everything, including APRA, not APRA, but AMPS, which is in opposition to APRA, Australian Medical Professional Society. Systems like that, where we can leave, we can set up our own rules by the people, for the people, and just walk away from the systems that's corrupt, is, in my opinion, the only way to move forward. And the quicker that everybody in the country does that, the better. We have heard a story the other day of a certain ex-senator abusing a lot of people for not knowing anything about the Constitution. Yet here he is promoting and still signing up people to his political party that's registered, which is unconstitutional. So it's pretty amazing that people are so hypocritical, and they don't understand. It's just really simple. The more you're in their matrix and the more you dive in and become like them, the worse off we are. We need to be totally polar opposites to the system. And as soon as we get everyone on that page, we're going to win big, and we are winning, so there's no doubt about that. But the People's Council is the #1 priority around the state. The My Place venues, which brings people together from all walks of life like nothing else, especially when you've got a venue like this. And we're amalgamating people that would never have come across each other in a million years in their private lives, just because we have one thing in common, that we all see bullshit. And that's brought us all together, that we would never have met if it wasn't for our mate Dan Andrews. So thanks, Dan. And you know, we've got people in this group that are polar opposites, and we have spiritual people becoming more practical, and we have practical people becoming more spiritual, and we're all learning from each other and listening and understanding and appreciating everyone's values and everyone's skills. And you know, I'm only one person. I've surrounded myself with some of the best people in this country that are doing all the work, and they're bringing the people together, and they're helping, and they're doing all the work in the background. And I've got an amazing support team at My Place, and this is the way forward. And if we can roll this out, this model out all around the state and around the country, and the People's Council, and walk away en masse, and defund and challenge everything that the corporations throw at us as a group in unity, then we're going to smash them out of the park very quickly. But we've all got to get on the same page.
So we're all sharing microphones now. This one seems to have died for whatever reason. Yeah, it has a touch of the lemons about it, but don't say that. Behringer is a great Australian company. We do not bag Australian company. I only buy Australian till it buggers up. But there you go. We will get it sorted. It'll be fine. Darren, I just want to touch on something, because our microphones are well, I don't know if they're going flat or what's going on, but we are having one or two troubles. I don't want to run out of microphone before we run out of show. So before we get on to our next musical act, I want to talk to you about the Trust. Now, the Trust is growing here in Victoria exponentially. It is now, I think, open for business in a couple of other states.
Yeah, I had a discussion Monday with the people in South Australia. I've spoken to the people in Queensland. They're very close to having their website and their details up and running. So there will be a Trust. Western Australia is a little bit further behind. New South Wales will be soon as well, and the ACT. So there should be a People's Trust in every state within the next 2 to 3 weeks, where everybody around the country can start to challenge the authenticity of all of these invoices that they've been sending us, these corporations that we have no contracts with. And that's all it is. We are challenging everything from now on. We don't just roll over and pay something because it turns up or because we get threatened. I've got an extortion letter from the Sheriff's Office now that I'll be also challenging in another way. We're just getting that drawn up at the moment, and I'd hope that I can get 10,000 people around the state that also are getting extorted by the Sheriff's Office and various other corporations, and we'll be taking that to court. And it's wrong, and now's the time for everybody to stand up. And some of us might end up in the shit, and I don't care. At some point, we've got to draw a line in the sand, and that's been done now. I nearly dropped it. These bastards declared war on us 3 years ago, right around the world, and they've done it for a lot longer than that. But we've had a bloody good life, and we haven't noticed it until 2019 when they released this fake pandemic, and then we know what's happened since then. So if we don't stand up now, in unity as a whole country, and all get on board and leave the system that's so corrupt, and start our own, then I don't know what hope there is for us. But it is starting to happen. But the Trust is it is really winding up now. We're getting very busy. We've had some changes where people were a bit concerned that if we write a check out to the People's Trust Victoria for an invoice worth $5 or $7 grand, that we might bank that check and run off with your money. That's obviously not what we're about. We want you to keep your money. So we've changed the disclosure statement now that you download off the website, and we've written in that you are undertaking to pay the invoice if it's found to be true and correct and legitimate. So that in itself is just like an IOU. It's a form of currency. It's legal in their shit system. So we're using their shit system to challenge their invoices that they're sending out to everybody. So the more people educate themselves about common law and what their rights are and what jurisdiction you stand in, and that's part of joining the People's Council as well. And you stand in that jurisdiction under that red land flag and the 1901 Australian Constitution Act as a starting point, and your freedom's right there. We don't have to reinvent it. We don't have to create it. It was already there for us. They've taken us away from it, and we need to rediscover it en masse and reclaim our Constitution and the Commonwealth of Australia Parliament and get out of this corporate government that would, well, it's not even a government, the corporation that's acting as a government, and just leave it. And it's that simple.
Yeah, here. So there is a process that needs to be followed. I know that I'm getting a lot of emails through, or Cherie is getting a lot of emails through asking about the Trust. So that's the current rundown on that. Any chance we might be able to get a word with Spiros on Friday?
I can have a chat to him and see if we can get him on the show. He was on Triple Tap last night. I don't know if anyone saw that. So yeah, I can have a chat to him tomorrow and see if we can get him down here live on the show, or maybe stream him in on Zoom if that's possible. Yeah.
You made those boys happy. That show's never been mentioned on my channel before. Well, you've already said fake pandemic once, so I'm going to have to take the video down. That's how it works, folks. You got to be careful what you say on this thing, because those numpties up there who push the buttons in the Ethernet will not let us tell you the truth. So they'll ban us on misinformation for telling you it was a fake pandemic. That's the idiocy of them. But unfortunately, you can't apply to have the review of your decision overturned because the AI doesn't allow you to do that. So, they're problems. Problem childs. Anyway, we'll deal with that a different time. But tonight, folks, is all about getting my place into your place. Are you seeing I think you're probably seeing the rolls being rolled out right about now. It might be happening underneath our camera. It's smells absolutely magnificent. They haven't even got to the front yet, so I hope you're enjoying them. We are going to have a few microphone issues. This thing's going to die on us. I can hear it starting to whisper. So we might wind up, we want to go till 9:30, but we might wind up going a little bit earlier than first scheduled. To that end, I think we should probably get on with our next musical act, if we have one, while the microphone is still running hot. Yes, no? Are we ready? That's the great thing about musicians. Are we ready? Yes. And then they come on and tune the guitar for 15 minutes. Hang on.
Just one other thing, guys, before we go to the next song. And it's incumbent on all of us to start to do some study and some research on how we get back to our freedom. And the one project that I've got running at the moment, or trying to get people behind, is the million people to the Shrine of Remembrance on the 11th. And people need to understand that the significance and the importance of that building and what it means in our freedom. And our freedom lies within. We were given our freedom 88 years ago after the Second World War, and our foundation stones laid in that building. And it is the most important building in this country. So if we don't understand where we come from and where our freedom lies, we don't fight hard enough. It is there. It is ours. And we all need to educate each other and educate on all of these issues. Learn your rights. Know what your jurisdiction is. Know that you are a free living man and woman. It's all up here. It really is. When you drop those shackles on your mind that's been put there and ingrained into your thought process for the last 50 or 60 years, you've got to start to wind that back. And the minute you drop those shackles and understand who you are, that you are a free living man or woman under God's law, and no one has a right to do anything to you, you are free. And if you've got a million people with that same attitude, it's game over. And that's why I want a million people to the shrine on the 11th of the 11th, because it will be game over for them at that point. So it's really important. Oh, and of course, we got Melinda here on the keyboard singing Remember Who You Are.
Thanks, everyone. I know at times in this journey, collectively and probably personally, there's been plenty of moments to probably feel a little dark, to question what's going on, to not be sure. And I know personally that's been my case as well. But amazingly, sometimes when I've had those experiences, a song has come through and I've intuitively written about these things. So this is what this song's about. When you're lost, you're in the dark, you need to remember who you are and that the light is still there. Lost and alone, wondering where to go, feeling like
Wow. My place has got talent. That's amazing. Oh, she's another one. Sorry, Melinda. And just being true. Wow, that was amazing.
Just being me.
was awesome. Absolutely awesome.
Okay, we got it back. There you go. I don't know what that's pointing for. He won't be on during the show. He might be on after the show, but it's not happening before the show finishes. Johnny will be back, folks, but you've got to be here for that. We're going to run out of battery very soon. I just wanted to point out to you, I don't know if Rob can grab a great shot of the pork and chicken, maybe, roll, which I'm now sharing all over the Australia One flag. Thank you, folks, everybody who's come tonight. Really appreciate it. I hope you enjoy your pork roll. The music might have ended for the show right now, but we're going to kick on. That's the nice thing about my place. We can do a show for a couple of hours, and hopefully you guys have enjoyed yourself. Maybe you've learned something. The biggest thing is I hope you've met the person next to you or the person behind you, shook their hand, introduced yourself, said g'day, exchange phone numbers. We're family, because that's what we are. You are my family now, all right? So we're all friends, and the stronger we can bond together in places like this and get a my place at your place, then the faster we're going to end all this crap in our lives, get rid of the bastards that are doing it to us, and get on with living a great life. Are you ready for that, folks? You and me both. Anything you'd like to end on, Mr. Mayor?
Yeah, I'd just like to thank everybody for coming out and being an amazing crowd tonight, and also to thank Carl for everything he's doing for us to promote this around the country. And I'd also, which I didn't do before, welcome the whole country to my place, Frankston. I've been on shows for probably 3 to 6 months, all the time mentioning what we're doing down here in Frankston. And now you can see it for yourself. You can see the crowd, the love, the talent that we have here, and it's second to none. And so welcome to the rest of the country. And yeah, it looks like we're on the way out with the microphone, but we'll be back Friday night for another show, and it'll be bigger and better. And apart from that, I'll let you sign off, Carl.
Roger that. Thank you, mate. Thank you, folks, for having us. We're looking forward to seeing you here again on Friday night. I think there are 1 or 2 places left Friday night. 1 or 2. If you want to come, folks, get online at the website, myplacefrankston.com, and put your name down. There is a door. You're going to have to get through it. So if your name's not on the door, you won't be getting through it. So get there quick.
And everyone else, please hang around. We'll be here till all hours. Hang around for a coffee. Come and have a chat. Yeah, grab some food. There's some dessert inside as well.
Yep. Hope you enjoyed it, folks. Have a great night. And for you watching at home, go right now. If you've got a shed out the back, if you've got a venue in your town, if you've got somewhere we can plant veggies for the folks in your community, then get a hold of Cherie at VoFHQ.com, VoFHQ.com, and we'll come and help you set it up. We'll put you in touch with Darren. We'll make sure it all works. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being part of the first My Place at Your Place on Voice of Freedom.
You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back. Does anybody else want to stay?